Welcome back, welcome back. Let's go over some things. We're gonna do another little random video, shorts, and see what we can come up with. See what we can learn.
When typing, the letter A looks really different compared to how most people write it, and everyone is okay with that. Shower thoughts. The way you make a family is not family friendly.
Those are some good points right there. There's some really good points. The way you type a doesn't look like it though. It makes sense. And that is very yin and yang. Everyone wants a family, but making the family, there's only one way to make a family.
Dogs must really think we care about our toilets given. It's the only thing we mark as our territory multiple times throughout the day. The handle of an axe is a traitor to his own race. All conversations end with a person
That's deep. All handles of an axe is a traitor to your own race. That's fucking wow.
being left on read, even if it's a goodbye. Almost no one has a negative number as their favorite number. All men at a bar, either straight or gay, hope that any other good-looking men there are gay. A telephone makes sound travel faster than sound. Arguing with dumb people actually makes you smarter because you have to figure out ways to explain things in a way a dumb person can understand.
Oh, so that's what I've been doing. Well, then I gotta appreciate people that are, not as smart. Because I guess if it wasn't for me trying to constantly explain these things to people, I wouldn't have all this information because I wouldn't have to keep looking it over and making sure I'm not crazy. And then I wouldn't have to think about it like, wait up. Didn't you explain this shit to the simplest way that a baby can? Maybe you didn't. Maybe you need to use a little science with a common sense, and then maybe a little video with this and a video with that. And damn, I can't get one person to sit down long enough to do all of this. All right, we gotta figure out how to. Oh, GMB TV. All right, that way we can massively talk to a whole bunch of people if they choose to watch. And when they may get a little discouraged from me, coming down harsh, like a father, a uncle, a brother that actually cares. Your father and your brother, your people are not gonna sit there and be like, okay, baby, you're fucking up. Well, it's okay. No, they're gonna be like, you're fucking up. Get the fuck up. They're not gonna talk to you nice. That's why most people don't like their parents, because they're hard on you. Period. But then when you get older and you realize all the parents that sound the horns, when you realize all the parents that weren't hard on their children, they're all like, have all these problems in life, then usually you go back and thank your parent, like, thanks for being hard on me. See, my mom was not the greatest, but she did tell me to do certain things, and although she later on sabotaged those things, it stuck in my head to do that. Tell the truth, be honest, blah 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 blah. So it's like,
Breakfast theory? Breakfast theory, no. Check this out. The origin of breakfast wasn't for actual health. It was for selling more meat. Now there's this guy, his name's Edward Bernays. Now they say he's the grandfather of propaganda. Before, back in the day, they never ate breakfast like how we eat breakfast today, with bacon, sausage, and eggs and shit like that.
You don't believe that? See, I don't need to believe the propaganda thing, that part. No, I just need to, look back in the day and realize the majority of people were fucking poor. So who the fuck was eating breakfast all the time? See, back in the day, you were farming that shit. doesn't mean you were getting to eat it all the time. The king and the armies and the men building the world, they needed their stuff so we can live where we're at now. And now everyone can eat this stuff. But, when I looked up a whole bunch of, like, food stuff and, you know, back in the day stuff, and I started to learn about the origins of food and, you know, why we eat these dishes and their traditional dishes and all this, I was amazed to find out how many of these things actually are bad for you. And everyone runs around and screams, "This is the way my grandmother did it, and her grandmother, and her grandmother, and blah, 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 blah." And then we die, and then everybody's fucking crying at the funeral. "They died too young. It was not supposed to be that time." It wasn't. They had the heart attack just like, you know, everybody else that was eating that shit. And then everybody eats that shit that night, that morning. The same shit that fucking put grandpa in the grave and grandma in the grave early from a heart attack. We go and eat that shit that night and that day.
Most of the time, they didn't even eat breakfast at all. They just intermittent fasted, and which is actually proven to be healthier today. Now, because back in the day, they were...
Oh, so they prove fasting in the morning and not eating as soon as you get up is healthier for you? I wonder why. I wonder if my father said fast. I wonder if they got that from the Bible. I wonder if my father said that. I wonder if that's why I can get up every morning, go to work hard, and then eat later on when I come home and not even eat fucking lunch during the day. But work fucking hard the whole 5 hours. But before, when I was on my changing my body and getting all the alcohol and the bullshits out and all that, and the best I've ever done and trained myself was to work from sun up to sundown every single day and eat once and not a big meal. So when he says these things, you know, some people actually test these things. We don't just
When typing,
talk.
You know the breakfast theory? Breakfast theory, no. Check this out. The origin...
I'm not saying for you to do this because you must know your body. It's not like I just jumped into it. We're talking years and training and actually going from eating all this stuff that they're talking about to cutting this thing out and cutting that out and then getting it down to eating this one thing, but a lot of that one thing because your stomach is still big. Your body's still used to having all that whatever. And then you realize, well, am I really 6 foot tall and fucking got the frame of a fucking Shaquille O'Neal, Mike Tyson nigga? No, I don't. I've been a skinny nigga most of my life. The most I'll probably gain is like 10, 20 pounds if I work real hard at this shit. I'm be a little, you know, fluffy up, puff, little muscular. But if I want to do anything more than that, I gotta pack on all this stuff. I gotta eat all this meat, proteins, and we don't live in a world where a lot of that shit's safe no more, and all the safe shit is mad money. So where you gonna go? What you gonna do? What we gonna do here, people? You gonna learn how to eat all over again like poor people are supposed to, or are you gonna keep believing you're fucking special or something?
A breakfast wasn't for actual health. It was for selling more meat. Now there's this guy, his name's Edward Bernays. Now they say he's the grandfather of propaganda. Before, back in the day, they never...
I've been smoking since I was fucking 15 years old, and I'll outrun, out basketball play, outwork some of you fucking young niggas. It's ridiculous.
Ate breakfast like how we eat breakfast today, with bacon, sausage, and eggs and shit like that. Most of the time, they didn't even eat breakfast.
Yous have so much more potential. Do you realize every generation is supposed to be smarter and stronger? So this is why I go fucking hard. Why? Because I don't give a shit about my generation, the ones before us. We're Moses. We're in the fucking desert. You little niggas are the ones coming out the desert. The Most High said, you Moses ass niggas ain't listen. You blaspheme my name. You let niggas punk you. You fucking did all this shit. You didn't follow law. You're not going to the promised land. Your children are. What preacher tells you that? That the Lord had his favorite people get free, and because they wouldn't even fucking listen, and Moses, the one everybody, everybody likes to, Moses, I want to be like Moses. You sure you want to be Moses? Moses ain't get to go home.
At all. They just intermittent fasted, and which is actually proven to be healthier today.
I want to be like Jesus. You sure? Because that means you got to tell the truth till they pin your ass up on that, put you in that jail cell and shit. I want to be like Daniel. So they throw your ass in that lines then, right? Everybody want to be like, I want to pick the book up. Walk the path for real then. I dare you. Follow the law and tell people of their sins. I dare you.
Now, because back in the day, they were selling, remember the milkmen? Remember they were pushing milk so hard?
Yep.
Because they had such a huge supply of...
See, I didn't believe the Lord was real until he said, and I read it in the book, and it said, you want to see if I'm real? Speak for me, and the whole world's going to hate your fucking guts. Because they hate me. So when you talk this truth, when you start running your mouth, you're going to fuck up people's money. People's power. And they're not going to like that. So, when you charlatans run around and claim that you're working for my father, yet you live in bubbles and roses, well, the guys in the book that you guys say you follow, they say do the work. James the Just, I quote, faith without works is dead.
And they weren't selling enough of it. Comes with milk, comes with what? Cows. So there's more meat. But there's so much meat that they couldn't sell it. Damn. So they decided, fuck, how are we gonna do this? Made breakfast a staple, saying got a doctor to claim it's the most important meal of the day. That shit was false.
Really, it's not.
It's just false. Then what happened? Boom, plastered everywhere. Eat your egg. You know the breakfast theory?
Breakfast theory, no.
Now, how true that is, I don't know. And I don't care. But you know what I do know? When I look at people's diet from back those days and back and stuff, they seem to be more healthier and can last, and they had all this strength and they can do things, and like look at what they survived to bring us forward. Look how bad they had to live, and they survived through it. We can't even catch a fucking cold nowadays. You got fucking boys out here crying because girls slapped them. Are you kidding me? You're telling me we don't understand that, yeah, things change. People try to make things better. Because I don't want to say, oh, they just wanted money. I don't care about none of that, dog. With innovation comes trying things. With trying things comes failure. Period. So I like to take things like that. They tried to make society better, and they didn't know what the fuck they was doing. They thought they were smarter than my father, and then they found out we're not. And now everybody's, literally proven the Bible to be true, and with all the ways it says about taking care of your body, taking care of yourself, and, all these things. Because it's scientifically proven now. There are things that they say, this is good for you. We know this will work. This will help. Yet, if I still come with that book, people look at me and be like, we don't want to hear this shit, Sharif. We believe scientists. And then I gotta go, think of me and channel on you and then bring out how the scientists said, it's real.
No disrespect, but that might be the easiest thing anyone has ever told me to make. And before might be the easy.
Most people don't know this, but there's a brain structure called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. What's interesting about this brain area is there are now a lot of data showing that when people do something they don't want to do, like add 3 hours of exercise per day or per week, or when people who are trying to diet and lose weight resist eating something.
Right.
When people do anything that they, and this is the important part, that they don't want to do.
Right.
It's not about adding more work, it's about adding more work that you don't want to do. This brain area gets bigger. Now, here's what's especially interesting about this brain area to me. The anterior mid-cingulate cortex is smaller in obese people. It gets bigger when they diet. It's larger in athletes. It's especially large or grows larger in people that see themselves as challenged and overcome some challenge.
Right.
And in people that live a very long time, this area keeps its size. Scientists are starting to think of the anterior mid-cingulate cortex not just as one of the seats of willpower, but perhaps actually the seat of the will to live.
Now, I never knew that's the name of that, but I know that's what I tapped into, because I learned a long time ago that spiritually man wants to break the laws of God. Where it's like automatic. Adam was perfect, and then they started breaking the law, and where we're at now. When I realized scientists said we could become addicted to things, and when I realized spiritual people and scientists said you can change your life. When I read the Bible and the Lord said you can become my son, you can change who you were, you could be reborn. See, I put all these things together and understood it's all in the mind. Your mind's the power, it's everything. And that's in you. And that's where the Father is. And then I realized that exactly what he said. When you do things you don't want to do, you become stronger mentally and physically. And it's the only way. So you can't get strong with your muscles without ripping them apart and beating them up. You have to hurt yourself in the gym over and over, and most people don't like pain and they quit. They don't like slow results, so they quit. They need it to happen now. And they don't understand you have to keep doing what you don't want to do to get where you want to be. And if you do what you want to do all your life, you're finished. Now, the Lord said there's laws and rules, and if you follow my laws and rules, you'll become stronger. And the other guy said, do as thou will. Do whatever the fuck you want all the time. Now, did I explain to you that my father already said there's a way to do this? And then people said, we want to try this. And then scientists found out, that shit was kind of right. And thus gets to the point of, we're in a world where nobody wants to be good. We're in a world where nobody wants to be a man of God or a woman of God. So can you say the only way this is going to change is people going to have to do what they don't want to do? And then you're going to feel better? And then you're going to do better? Can you see how plain and simple to choose to change your life? Get the fucking movie star shit out your head. Get the I need to be rich or whatever. You need to change. Everyone's not gonna. The ones listening have the opportunity, and these breakdowns scientifically, spiritually, and from like that thing said, as you keep talking to people that don't know, I don't want to use the word dumb, lack of knowledge, then you begin to try to make yourself smarter by breaking it down multiple ways so they get it. Now, I've broken down how God's real so many times in this channel. I've broken down from every level there kind of really is. And all you can really do is go on and show these different things, different ways, expression through my music and through my videos of anything I do. Everything I do on here is a little bit of proof of he's real. Now, how you choose to see him is up to you. I can't see him for you. I can't make you believe that he made you to feel good and special. Because, you know, he invented all this stuff around you, all the world. And he did that for us. See, if the Lord's real, We are the greatest thing he's ever created, man and woman, right? If he's not real, in space and all of that, this is random and human beings are nothing. Do you want to be nothing or the greatest thing ever created? You choose.
This man just proved the existence of God. Watch this.
Tell me where God came from. I want you to fill in the story of the rest of the beginning of the universe. God, spiritual matter, impact on material matter.
Okay, your question, where did God come from, assumes that you're thinking of the wrong God. Because the God of the Bible is not affected by time, space, or matter. If he's affected by time, space, or matter, he's not God. Time, space, and matter is what we call a continuum. All of them have to come into existence at the same instant. Because if there were matter but no space, where would you put it? If there were matter and space but no time, when would you put it? You cannot have time, space, or matter independently. They have to come into existence simultaneously.
Do you understand that? All three of those things is what make our reality. Not one of those things can exist by itself. They have to be together to bring forth what we see and know and feel. And there's no other way. So that means there's an order. That means there's someone placed these things. Someone created it.
I will answer that in 10 words. In the beginning, there's time. God created the heaven, there's space, and the earth, there's matter. So you have time, space, matter created a trinity of trinities there. Just, time is past, present, future. Space has length, width, height. Matter has solid, liquid, gas. You have a trinity of trinities created instantaneously, and the God who created them has to be outside of them. If he's limited by time, he's not God.
Now do you understand when I say the Lord is outside of this? When I say he's upstairs, that's what I mean. When I say he's inside, it's how did he make that stuff? What did he make it from? If there was nothing there, what did he make it from? Oh, himself? And that would mean everything is made from him. So what's inside of you? Him.
A 6th grade teacher asks her class, which body part increases to 10 times its size when stimulated? No one answers until little Mary stands up and says, "You should not be asking 6th graders a question like that. I will tell my parents and they will tell the principal, who will fire you." Mrs. Parks ignores her and asks again. Little Mary's mouth falls open. Then she says to those around her, she going to get in big trouble. Still ignoring her, the teacher says, "Anybody?" Finally, Billy stands up, looks around nervously, and says, "The body part that increases 10 times its size when stimulated is the pupil of the eye." The teacher replies, "Very good, Billy." Then turns to Mary. "As for you, young lady, I have 3 things to say. 1, you have a dirty mind. 2, you didn't read your homework. And 3, one day, you are going to be very, very disappointed."
That was an awesome joke. But honestly, you don't think that's real? That should tell you, your kids are paying attention to the things you talk about. And they don't pay attention. So their minds are on things that shouldn't be on. Why? So much that when they're in school, they'll think a fucking teacher's talking to little kids dirty. Maybe because the parents talk real crazy in front of them. Maybe, like, I don't even want to shame anybody, but, like, seriously, bro. I sweep the floor for a living, and I've gotten put in near schools multiple times. And when I say your fucking daughters and your sons are out here talking crazy, and they're not talking crazy, they're talking about what they're doing and what they're gonna do. Again, watch your kids. Talk to them. It's already too late for most of them. They're already doing the things you're afraid of them doing. Now they need to be coached before they get put into the shadows. Like you did. Or your friends.
Things you will notice when observing people. Psychology edition. Girls who consistently excuse or rationalize abusive behaviors in relationships often come from home where there was a stark imbalance of power. People who excel in reading others' emotions may have developed this skill as a survival tool in an unpredictable home environment. Guys who fear commitment often grew up in homes where parental figures consistently prioritized work or personal interests over family. Girls who are fiercely independent often had to learn early on to rely solely on themselves, possibly due to absent or unreliable parents. Overly loud people often don't feel heard at home. They feel that in order to be heard, they have to raise their voice. People who have experienced toxic love in their childhood will often search for the same later in life, because it's the only type of love they know. You might not see me again.
And those are usually the people that hate me, not realizing I'm one of you. You just don't get it. That's why I can see you. That's why I call you out. Because you just don't get it. It's our time. They use us because they can see these traits in us. Other people have been broken, and other people know that can make money off us that are not broken. See, I can see. And the Lord is the way back. And we think, because of the things that happened to us, made us a certain way, and we're like, oh, we're fucked up. We're different, but we're so special. You just don't get it. All those things he just said, you develop powers from it. You get it? It said motherfuckers that know how to read people come from a fucked up home. A woman that learns to stand for herself comes from a home that where motherfuckers wasn't trying to... You get it? Some people become stronger. But we get stuck in those ways and think like you said it with the woman, it could be a man too. You come up in a house where there's no order or whatever, so you end up independent for yourself, and now you don't know how to have a relationship. Are you supposed to have a relationship? Yes. But you don't know how. You don't believe it. You don't feel it. You don't know it because you've never seen it. But it doesn't mean it's not true. This is the shit they robbed us from. Because they had us chasing other shit. When we were supposed to be chasing these little parts of ourselves. If we only had time to look into ourselves. But, life happens. And it happens fast. So, I hope some of this helps some of you. I hope some of you actually look in the mirror and start realizing just because you're broken doesn't mean you have to stay that way. And just because that shit happened to you doesn't mean it didn't make you stronger. If you're listening, you're alive, aren't you? You're not the person you used to be that first got broken. Woof up.